Hi you guys, welcome back to my series on Angela Winbush, my favorite singer, songwriter, producer, and musician of all time. I am really enjoying talking about my favorite artist. She is by far my favorite. Like I said, I love En Vogue and I love Angela Winbush. So let's pick up where we left off. So again, as I said, she's not really shining in the Renee and Angela duo. Even though it's something that she inspired to do, you know, some articles have even suggested that it was actually Angela who was like, hey, you know, let's work together as a duo, that maybe we can really and truly, you know, get into, you know, the music industry as a duo. And neither of them were, you know, hesitant about it. You know, it was like, oh, okay, how about, you know, we give this a shot. And I said again, they had a lot of records out. And here's where I'm going with this. You work with Stevie Wonder. You work with Lamont Dozier. You're working with Chaka Khan and Rufus and Chaka Khan. So it seemed like working with some iconic people like that your career would really and truly take off. And it just really didn't happen for Renee and Angela at the time. So now what we have here is that, and according to whatever you know, articles you read or interviews that they're doing at the time, Renee and Angela goes over to the Mercury Polygram label and they released the I think it was certified gold, but eventually sold like a million copies. The Street Called Desire. Now this CD is called Street Called Desire and More. I did have Street Called Desire. That's another story too. But when I was able to get my music collection back like I wanted it, I was able to find this one. It was called Street Called Desire and More. And basically what it is that it has all of the original of course recordings, and then it has the extended versions of the songs as well. And there's one song in particular, Set Me Free, they recorded for the Jumpin' Jack Flash soundtrack, and I'm going to only assume that it's not featured on the Jumpin' Jack Flash soundtrack is because they was breaking up at the time. So, and the Pointer Sisters, if you watch Jumpin' Jack Flash, the opening song, Set Me Free, sung by the Pointer Sisters, was originally supposed to have been Renee and Angela. And the Pointer Sisters does a great version of that song as well. So now what we have here, of course, Renee and Angela goes on tour. They go on tour with Whitney Houston. They eventually also go on tour with Freddie Jackson. And, you know, it seemed like, you know, they're having the success that they had been wanting, you know, for quite some time. This record could easily have been what I would call Renee and Angela greatest hits. I always would call the Street Called Desire Renee and Angela's greatest hits, because all these songs are hits. And every single, Save Your Love for Number One, I'll Be Good, Your Smile, and You Don't Have to Cry all entered into the pop charts. I'll Be Good was number 47 on the pop charts as well. So again, they were really, when Unsung said they were front and center, they really were front and center with this record. So now, so a little bit of background. This record, I always pronounce this guy's name wrong, but he was the engineer for Michael Jackson's music. Bruce Sweden. He was the engineer for Michael Jackson's Off the Wall records and all of that stuff with Quincy Jones and all of that. So thank you. I'm just now realizing, even when you listen to some Renee and Angela's music, it sounds like they really was trying to recreate the Michael Jackson sound too. You know, they was working with a lot of people who had been affiliated somehow or another with Michael Jackson. So it sounds like they were really trying to do something in that area of their music. I do recall there's a song on here, and I'm just playing off things. I'm not saying this is true, but there's a song on here called "Do You Really Love Me?" Could have easily been an attempt to kind of, play off "Do You Love What You Feel" by Rufus and Chaka Khan. This could be easily a play. "Wall to Wall," their 1981 release, could have easily been, an attempt to try to recreate the Michael Jackson "Off the Wall" sound. But of course, as I said, if you listen to "I'll Be Good" and you listen to "Thriller," you could tell that they were very much, the engineer really and truly was giving them that Michael Jackson touch to production, okay? And so that's pretty much where we are with this. So I'm almost trying to wrap this up, but it looks like there are some tensions going on, obviously, with Renee and Angela. If you look at a video, there's a video with them on American Bandstand, and I don't know why Dick Clark asked them this question, but he asked them the question on American Bandstand, is everything cool between you guys when y'all have, disagreements and this, that, and the other? And they're pretty much, Angela is like, yeah, if we don't both agree, then we don't do it. So I don't know why that question would come up. I don't know. But I don't know. I think that a lot contributed to the success, now that I think about it, of Street Called Desire. And it could have been that they were actually also to take advantage of the music videos. Because when you see Angela out performing in these videos and all of that stuff and live, you can tell that Angela Winbush is definitely, she loves the camera and she loves to perform, and she's just on it. She really, is giving it to you. She's, as most people say, she's working it or whatever. Like she to me, she embodies. This is what I love about her too. She embodies sensuality and sexuality. She does. And she owns it. You can tell that Angela is definitely comfortable in being her feminine self. You know what I mean? Like, she's definitely has always come out being comfortable in that. So my hats off to Angela Winbush for owning her femininity and being comfortable being feminine. But anyway, in a male-dominated industry. But anyway, moving along from that. So tensions, of course, are coming to a head depending on who you talk to, or depending on the articles you read, or even the unsung episode with Angela Winbush in it. Now, let's talk about Ron Isley, okay? Now, I remember Benny Medina saying that he introduced Angela to Ron. Or did he say Ron to Angela? Either way, and I guess it does kind of make a difference, but it definitely, the person who linked them up together, I believe, is Benny Medina. And this is the reason why I say that. I recall Benny Medina saying that in an interview when when Ron and Angela married in 1993. And of course, I'm glued into the television set, so I remember seeing this. I think it was Benny Medina who was on the video. I don't know, BET News or somebody covered it. I don't know who it was. Their wedding. And I think it was Benny Medina who said that he introduced them together. Now, let's talk about Ron. What is happening in Ron's career? Well, of course, In Between the Sheets, or Between the Sheets CD comes out in 1983. Does well for the Isley Brothers. Then Ernie Isley, Chris Jasper, and Marvin Isley split from the group. They record a song called Caravan of Love. Definitely a big hit for them. And Ron, Rudolph, and O'Kelly, I believe, signed to Warner Brothers Records in 1985, and they released a record called The Masterpiece. I don't think that record did great for them at MCA in 1985. So it looks like Ron was pretty much really looking for, you know, the next big hit for his career. And then with O'Kelly having passed maybe in 1986, so that only left Ron and Rudolph in the group. And so they were really and truly looking for some, you know, a hit record. Now, I think Ron mentioned to Benny Medina that he wanted to work with the group who did the song Your Smile, which of course is Renee and Angela. So that's how that happened. Now, depending on how you want to look at it, and this is my speculation on it, this is just from a fan perspective, I'm thinking that there's definitely was a connection with Ron and Angela. And even in the unsung, it was, I think it was Renee's half-brother who mentioned that there was basically a connection. I don't know if that was right off. I don't know if the connection was right off. Now, as I said before, now I have attended a few of Angela Winbush's shows throughout the years. And especially after she split with Ron. So like between, like, let's say 2004 and between 2004 and present day, you know, I've been to several of her shows, and trust me, she doesn't mind talking about certain things in her shows. And I think she may have mentioned that she was called into Warner Brothers offices, and they asked her, you know, do you have anything for the Isley Brothers? And she was like, yes, of course I do. So like I said, depending on how you go about this. Now, I can only assume, this is me, I'm not sure. I'm thinking that Angela Winbush was not allowed to shine, okay, in the duo. And clearly, probably Renee allegedly is threatened by this. And, well, tensions start to occur. Now, depending on who you talk to, okay, depending on the publications you read, if you can read between the lines with what people have said, I will say this. It is definitely, how can I put it? Everything that Angela Winbush said, for the most part, in the unsung about Renee allegedly being abusive towards her, well, I'm just going to say there are reports that he kind of was. and it seems like to me, well, okay, let me put it to you this way. Where's my CD? Where's my CD? I need the CDs. Okay, this record, if you play You Had a Good Girl and You Lost Her, okay, this is just me. Like I said, you got to read between the lines sometime. There's a song on here called You Had a Good Girl and You Lost Her. Read the lyrics. You ain't even got to listen to the song, but the song is definitely a great song. You Had a Good Girl. And then there's another song on here called Imagination of the Heart. I don't know, but again, Angela Winbush is a songwriter, so she can really and truly, you know what I'm saying, she definitely can pull, you know, some things out of the air. Of course, you know, inspiration and all of that stuff. But I'm going to just say, You Had a Good Girl and You Lost Her, and Imagination of the Heart probably was about that musical partnership with Rene Moore. Now, I kind of lost track of time a little bit, but I will say this much. Depending on how you look at it, it seemed to me that a couple of things could have possibly happened. Some reports say Rene Moore allegedly was dead set against working with the Isley Brothers, period. Like some publications, like, I don't know if it was just mentioned and he was like, no, I don't want to work with them. And it could have been, you know, Angela saying, well, okay, if you don't want to work with them, I don't care. I'm going to work with them. It could have been that. It could have been that they were working. You know, sometimes, you know, you start out trying to get a feel for the artist and the producer's relationship when you first start, just kind of seeing how you would gel together and what you can come up with. So maybe that took place and it was kind of like, no, I thought I wanted to do this. I don't want to do this, right? But the guy in the video basically was saying that Renee was dead set against it, period, because it threatened the stability of the group. And Angela saying that all she ever heard was, hey, you're going to leave the group like Chaka did Rufus. Somehow or another, there is a Rufus connection with Rene Moore. So, like I said, he comes from like this musical pedigree as well. So, you know, I'm pretty sure that it is, you know, had been said a time or two to her more than once that, you know, it is what it is. So now, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to probably go into another segment of the video. I'm not trying to be mindful of what I'm saying about it. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm really here to pay, you know, tribute to Angela Winbush and just talk about her from a fan perspective because I love her so much, her music so much. Let's just say tensions did occur, and I don't know if it occurred in the studio or I don't know if it occurred in somewhere else, but yeah. And it seemed to me that that could have possibly been where Ron could have been, well, who will I work with in this group? You know, like, okay, well, they're splitting up. So who is who? And maybe that could have been what, you know, Angela, because Ron has said in interviews, even when they were, you know, Ron and Angela was together, that it was Angela who said, you know, hey, you know, I can do this. Like I know your sound. I know what you're all about, this, that, and the other. I can do this. So it could have been just Angela really taking the initiative, you know, and just saying, hey, forget this. This is my opportunity. I'm going to seize the moment. It could have been something like that, or what have you. And so what I'm going to do at this moment in time, I'm just going to stop for a second, you know, and do the next video because I guess I will just talk about it a little bit. So I know you're enjoying yourself. I am definitely enjoying myself. So go ahead on and hit the like button and leave a comment and hit the like button and I'll be right back.